while the rest of the world was obsessing over elections and interest rates. A quieter, high-cost movement was already underway. During the COVID-19 pandemic, a New Zealand bunker builder named Gary Lynch said his company saw a surge in inquiries of around 2,000%, according to media interviews at the time. These aren't vacation homes. Call them what you want: offshore retreats, resilience estates, or simply the exit plan. And if you look at some of the purchases attracting attention, a pattern begins to emerge. Real estate agents and journalists covering the sector have reported recurring themes: privacy, long-term resilience, and concerns about geopolitical or climate-related instability, motivations that go well beyond hedging against a typical recession. Today, we're looking at a form of wealth preservation that's often discussed quietly, and that the ultra-wealthy rarely address in public. Certain private island purchases across the South Pacific and beyond are frequently cited in reporting on wealth, privacy, and resilience planning, and for specific reasons that keep coming up. We'll get into exactly why.
As of June 2026, a quiet shift is unfolding out of public view. A growing group of ultra-wealthy individuals are making moves that suggest preparation for a different future. The Pacific Northwest's remote wilderness is now drawing attention for its isolation, seclusion that's nearly impenetrable. Private islands may be becoming part of a growing market for fortified refuges, built for those who believe they know what's coming.
The deep water obsession. Here's something worth paying attention to. In the islands, depth matters as much as acreage. Across the San Juan and Gulf Islands, properties with deep, sheltered anchorages are reportedly becoming more sought after. The kind of moorage that can handle long-range explorer yachts built to cross oceans without refueling. Some observers suggest listings are starting to highlight anchorage depth alongside square footage, a detail that would have been an afterthought a decade ago. A property with a 12 to 15-meter natural channel isn't just scenic waterfront anymore. It's not just waterfront, it's an exit route, a landscape built to disappear in. But the land itself may not be the most valuable part of these estates. The Pacific Northwest archipelago isn't just scenic. It's a maze. Thousands of islands, narrow channels, tidal currents that can shift significantly within hours. Fog is common too, often rolling in before dawn or with the rising tide, sometimes thickening fast enough to limit visibility within minutes. Layer modern surveillance on top of that: drones, satellites, AIS vessel tracking, and the terrain still creates challenges. Vessels can and do go dark by switching off AIS, something that happens with a notable percentage of maritime traffic worldwide. And while radar systems have improved at catching these gaps, the sheer geography here, islands, channels, weather, still makes constant monitoring harder than in open water. For people whose primary concern is being tracked or found, that's not nothing. Buying the sky and the sea around you. Some of the most interesting moves aren't happening on the land at all. They're happening in the regulatory space around it. Several Gulf islands sit near designated sanctuary zones and protected marine areas, places where boat traffic is restricted, sometimes within a kilometer of shore, originally established for conservation and wildlife protection. The effect, intentional or not, is that some waters near these protected zones see far less public boat traffic than comparable areas nearby. Combine that with limited road access and remote shoreline, and certain island properties end up with a buffer of relative privacy that most coastal homes simply can't replicate. Not by design, but by coincidence. It's not a private kilometer of sky and sea, but it might as well feel like one. Building a world that doesn't need the outside. Once you have the land, the water, and the privacy, the next question becomes, what happens if you simply stop needing anyone else? This isn't unique to the islands. Estates in around the same playbook. Around the world, ultra-wealthy estates are increasingly being built around climate-controlled hydroponic systems, paired with small-scale livestock, chickens, goats, sheep. The goal isn't luxury, it's continuity. If the ferries stop running, if supply chains fracture, dinner still gets served. That's not a hobby farm. That's resilience by design. The new staff, not groundskeepers, operators. And then you notice who's actually being hired to run them. Across the world's most secure private estates, the people on payroll increasingly aren't traditional caretakers. Wealthy families have been hiring former special forces operators, intelligence veterans, and executive protection specialists, the same people who used to guard heads of state, to manage security and logistics full-time. Not groundskeepers, operators. Their job isn't just to maintain the property. It's to keep it running, defended, and supplied, managing fuel reserves, communications, perimeter security, and emergency response year-round. From vacation home to command center. And that brings us to the real shift happening here. And it's less about real estate and more about mindset. A vacation home is something you visit. A command center is something you maintain. For a documented and growing number of billionaires, from tech executives building bunkers in Hawaii to others securing remote. The difference comes down to preparation, backup power, redundant communications, trained personnel on standby, whether the owner is there or not. By some estimates, roughly 1 in 3 billionaires has now funded some kind of exit plan. For a growing number of ultra-wealthy buyers, the question isn't, how do I relax here? Anymore. It's, if everything else fails, does this place still work? And reportedly, in the Pacific Northwest's hidden corners, some buyers may be quietly answering that question. In cash. The ultimate insurance policy. So why now? Why does all of this seem to be accelerating in 2026? According to the World Economic Forum's Global Risks Report 2026, geoeconomic confrontation now ranks as the top global risk, with state-based armed conflict close behind, as the second most likely trigger for a global crisis, a concern that's grown significantly over just the past 2 years. And globally, the ultra-wealthy appear to be responding. Bunker builders have reported staggering surges in demand. Alone reported a 2,000% increase in inquiries. Tech billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Peter Thiel have poured tens of millions into remote compounds in Hawaii and New Zealand. And according to entrepreneur Reid Hoffman, roughly half of ultra-wealthy individuals now hold some version of what he calls apocalypse insurance. For this class of buyer, a remote property with deep water access, controlled approaches by land, sea, and air, food independence, and trained security isn't an eccentric purchase anymore. It's an insurance policy. And increasingly, places like the San Juan and Gulf Islands may be entering that conversation. The closing realization. Which brings us to where we started. In a world where conflict risk and geopolitical stability seem to be trending the wrong way, the ultra-wealthy aren't chasing bigger yachts or flashier penthouses anymore. They're chasing distance, from cities, from systems, from everyone else's problems. And in that world, the most valuable thing money can buy isn't a view or a brand or a status symbol. It's seclusion. Because in an age where everything is connected, monitored, and exposed, disappearing may become the ultimate status symbol. And perhaps the ultimate admission that faith in the systems that built modern wealth is beginning to fracture. So next time you scroll past a listing for a remote island retreat, know that for a growing number of buyers, that's not a vacation home. It's an exit plan. If you found this look into the hidden world of ultra-wealthy real estate interesting, let me know in the comments. Would you ever trade the city for an island like this? And subscribe for more deep dives into the places and the people the rest of the world never sees. Thanks for watching.